Welcome to Bella's Yoga Room. Tonight we've got our Sunday slow flow, and the theme tonight is release and with a focus on our legs. So we are going to be really low to the ground. We're actually starting on our backs. So if you've got a cushion, feel free to bring that along or come on down. So just joining me in a flat position on your back. You might want to have your knees up if that feels more comfortable for you, but feel free to also just extend them. If you do want to have a pillow, maybe under the knees as we get started here, under the head, just make any adjustments you need to get comfortable. And if you'd like to, maybe place the hands on the body, maybe one over the belly, one over the chest, or you can also have them maybe resting just over the hips. Or again, they can be just next to your side. So as you settle in, maybe closing the eyes, making any last little adjustments you need to. And just giving yourself permission that this is the best place for you to be right now. There's nowhere else you need to be. And if you do have your eyes shut, maybe just noticing the movement in the body. So maybe watching that breath. Noticing as you slow down and stop moving. Maybe the mind starts to get a bit busy. It's really normal. And we're just going to come back to our breath, or even focusing on our body here. Just noticing the points in which our body makes contact with the ground. And as we're still here, just connecting with the breath, seeing if there's anything that comes to mind that's in line with tonight's theme of that release. Is there something that you can release before the next week? Doesn't need to be anything big. Maybe you need to donate those old clothes that are sitting by your door that you haven't got to yet, or maybe you need to send that email that you've been putting off, or whatever it is. Or maybe it's a expectation you place on yourself. And if nothing comes up, then even just practicing that release of the breath. In order to inhale, again, we must exhale fully. And if you've settled on an intention, just focusing on that for one last breath. And when it's set, just opening the eyes. And we're just going to bring both of those knees just up into the chest. Just hug those knees in. So maybe grabbing around the shins, or you can grab behind the hamstrings, behind the legs too. Keeping the head nice and soft on the ground. And let's just extend out that left leg, keeping that right leg in. And again, the heel can come down, or the heel can be up, or you can bend the knee too and have the foot flat. Let's do some circles with that right ankle. One way and then the other way. And totally, you can have your eyes shut here once you know what you're doing. And one last way. Excellent. Let's swap those legs over, hugging that left knee in now. And again, just keeping a really gentle neck here. Notice if you're sort of like clenching, can you just sort of relax those elbows into the body, just hugging it in rather than really trying to tense. And let's do some circles with that left ankle and other way. And then bringing both knees in for one little hug. And then letting the feet come down flat on the ground. And feet just a little bit further away from the hips. Keeping the hands maybe on the hips or on the tummy here and allowing the knees just to open wide. Bringing the feet so they've got sole to sole, just opening up into those hips. And if this is feeling really strong, then you can always just push the feet further away from the hips. Or if you want a bit more of a stretch in those hips, just bringing those heels in a little bit closer. So just finding what you need tonight. And that might look different to what it was yesterday, to what it was last week, what it was last year. We're always trying to work with our body. So we're going to hold here in this reclined cobbler's pose. Really allowing that opening up of the hips here. And just noticing, how does the face feel in this pose? Are you tight through the jaw? Can you release any tension there? Notice if there's anywhere else that's holding. And as you exhale, again, just seeing if there's anything else you can let go of. And also, if you need to make any modifications at any stage, please do. This is your practice. This is your time. Couple more breaths here. Our hips hold us up all day. Hold a lot in. Just sending them that love. And bringing the hands to the outsides of the legs now and just hugging those knees back in. And we're going to roll over very elegantly all the way over onto our tummies. And we're just going to make a little hand pillow here. So placing one hand over the other and just allowing the forehead to rest down on the back of the palm that's up. And then bring the big toes to touch and then allow the heels to fall out and maybe just do a couple little wiggles there of the hips. So sort of the opposite of that cobbler's pose. And here, just noticing if you can breathe into the tummy. Feel that movement. as you get to the top of your inhale, and then release as you exhale. We're going to bring the legs back parallel now. So if those toes are touching, just bring them so they just continuous nice straight lines of from your toes all the way up to your hips. We're going to bring the elbows underneath those shoulders, palms face down. Just a really gentle back bend here. So maybe lifting the chin ever so slightly here into our Sphinx pose. And just noticing maybe if your shoulders have sort of come up to your ears or if you're sinking in. Just, again, trying to open up a little bit of space there. You can always, just lower down. Doesn't need to be yanking. Just a really gentle easing. Just across that upper back. And then just releasing down, allowing those elbows to come out wide. I'm going to bring the left arm so that it's sort of parallel to the front of our mat, up and across. And we're going to reach behind, if you can, and just reach and grab that right foot with that right hand. So we're coming into that just a quad stretch, but lying down, so we don't have to worry about balance tonight. And just breathing here into that quad. So no need to lift it up or anything. That front of your leg can just rest on the ground. Nice big deep breaths here into that really big muscle group. And then as we're going to release it, just be careful not to slingshot it. So really think about that intention and allow that leg to come down. And we're swapping over, so bringing that right arm now flat parallel to the front of our mat. And then reaching behind with that left hand, grabbing that left foot. And this is stretching sort of in our hip as well, that opening up there. Big deep breaths here. And again, as we release that left foot, really conscious to allow that to come down gently. Try not to just let it slam down into the ground. Get those hands, we're going to press them underneath the shoulders now. And just coming back up into our nice tabletop position. So we've got our hands underneath our shoulders, our knees underneath the hips, and allowing the feet just to rest comfortably on the tops of the feet. As we inhale, looking up for our cow, gentle back bend, and exhale, tucking in. Inhaling again, and exhale, release. Inhaling, and release. Beautiful. We're going to make the knees nice and wide again. Bring those toes to touch. And we're just going to put the hands, walk them out a little bit further, and then allow the bottom to sit back onto the heels of the feet. Into our extended child's pose. And you can allow the elbows here just to rest on the ground. You can also at any point, maybe bring a prop, whether it be a block or a blanket, towel, pillow. You can also have that for the head to rest on. And again, as we're here in that extended child's pose, really just noticing that movement across the back, as we inhale and as we exhale. And slowly coming up. We're going to come into a seated position here. So we're just going to allow the feet to be in front of us. We're then going to make them a little bit wider than hip distance. We've got our hands behind us and we're just going to open out into those hips. So bring, as you allow that right knee to sort of come inwards and maybe tap on the ground. And then coming back to center, inhale, as we then exhale over to the left. So we're just going to do a few cycles, swapping this over. And if that knee isn't coming down to the ground, that's okay. Or if this is not a good pose for you, maybe just coming into a seated cobbler's pose, which would be just here, just to have holding position if that movement is not serving you tonight. But if you are opening in those hips, just a couple more there. That internal rotation of the hip versus that external rotation of the hip. Last one. Wonderful. We're going to come and we're just going to sit back and we're going to just open those legs out as wide as wherever it is that you are today. Also, we can also come and sit up on a pillow, on a folded up blanket. Also, we can have those knees as bent as you need. So if this is just, we really want to be coming and sitting in a, like the spine is nice and straight. So if you're finding that you're sort of sitting back, leaning back, that's not what we're really going for. We really want to be having that nice straight back. So we're just going to start and maybe we're just here. And we're going to then slowly turn our attention over to that left side. Feet can either be pointed, they can be flexed. Again, it's really whatever serves you. I'm going to probably go for a little bit in between tonight. And we're just going to bring those hips so we're sort of our body is facing those left toes. And this is where we might be tonight. Sitting up really, again, thinking about that spine being nice and straight. Or you might want to come forward. That doesn't necessarily mean that have got your head on your knee. Again, we're really trying to just bring that chest towards the toes. Nice and open. We don't want to be closing off. We really want to keep that nice open. And again, you might find as you keep breathing, you might find a little bit more space on that exhale. And let's come up. And then turning our attention to our shoulders as well, and our facing that right foot. Nice big inhale. And as you exhale, just sort of that opening towards that right foot. You do want to rest the hands down, that's absolutely fine, but you don't really want to be like clinging, holding on for dear life there. Again, if you need to back off or you need to come and sit up, bending that knee as well. Lots of modifications. You know your body best. And coming up. And now coming back sort of center, and maybe just if you can place those hands on the ground and just starting to walk those fingers out. It doesn't matter where they go. Just keep going if that feels good for the body. And again, as you find your limit today, send that breath. You might find you can come a little bit further, but just also accepting where you are tonight. Bowing the head if that does feel comfortable, as that sign of that bringing that inner wisdom back to the body. And then walking those fingers back. And you might want to grab underneath the knees if you want to, or just give them a bit of a shake so that they're touching. Going to come a last sort of forward fold here. So again, can be sitting up on a block or a cushion. That can help raise those hips, give a bit more space. Bending those knees. Again, thinking about sitting up nice and tall through the spine. That energy is going all the way up. Maybe reaching upwards. And then as you exhale, let's fold forward. And again, just listening to what the body is saying. If you need to back off tonight, maybe you've been, this is your first session back, or maybe you've been doing more exercise than normal, or even just in the garden, or, the body takes time to just, give it some space. And how wonderful that you're showing up, giving it this time. Last breaths here in our forward fold. And then rolling up. Again, coming to that nice straight spine. Let's hug that right knee in nice and tall. I'm going to hug that left arm around the right knee, and then allowing that right hand to swim behind. That gentle twist, maybe looking over the right shoulder, or you can look just straight ahead as well. Now, twists are always helpful to release anything that the body is holding on to. And coming back to the front, allowing that right leg to come down, hugging that left knee nice and high in. Again, keeping that nice integrity in the spine. Let's wrap that right arm around the left knee and allow that left fingers, hands to come behind. Maybe looking over that left shoulder. Breathing into those internal organs. And coming back to center. We're gonna come into a deer pose now. So allow that right leg to be out in front. So you're going to be sitting. We're going to allow that right knee to come and leg to come into sort of a box shape in front of you. And then if you can, that left leg behind you is also going to be making So there's a 90-degree angle with that left knee, and then there's a 90-degree angle there with that right knee in front. And again here, if you need a bit of space, you can always sit up on that cushion or a block under that right hip. That can really help. And just again here, we want to be thinking about sitting up nice and tall. If that is feeling okay for your body, you might want to fold forwards over that right knee. And nice deep breaths here. Again, our hips have always got some things that we can release. So just noticing as you're in this pose, maybe what's coming up, maybe some old familiar thoughts, maybe some that aren't particularly helpful or worth holding on to. And coming back to that breath, noticing if you're holding on. Last breath here. And then maybe pushing up through those hands if you are using a prop. Coming off that gently and allowing those knees just to come back up normal as you prepare for the second side. So creating again, now that left leg is going to be in front of you, creating that nice 90-degree angle. Soft through that foot. And then that 90-degree angle again with that right knees now behind you. Again, you can have that prop just of making a bit extra comfy on a Sunday for that hip. Sitting up nice and tall, or maybe folding over that left leg. And it's really normal. Everybody's got different sides, different flexibility, different aches and pains in each side. So again, not comparing this leg to the other, which our brain just wants to do automatically. Just noticing the differences, not demanding it be the same, but noticing what are the things you can do to support your body, maybe in this shape or on that side. Showing that compassion. Couple more breaths here on that left side. Definitely feeling it in my left side today. And then pushing up. If you've got a pillow or blanket, keep that handy. Let's maybe just bring those legs out in front. Just give them a little bit of a shake off. We're going to come for our final, before we get back into Shavasana, we're going to come into legs up against the wall. I'm very lucky to have a nice wall here. If you don't have a wall, you don't have to. You can use a chair, a couch. You can just have your legs in the air. But if you do need to go and clear a little bit of a space, go for it. We are going to come into that position now. So as the name suggests, we want to get that bottom nice and close to that wall. The further away your bottom's going to be from the wall, the less intense it's going to be. So if you do need a bit more space, or locking those knees sort of out is not good for your body, then just bring that bottom a bit further away. I'm going to bring and have that pillow under my head and just allowing the blood that's been in our feet walking around, carrying us around, just to flow in the opposite direction. Our muscles have to work to pump all day long, so it's always nice to take that pressure off. Again, you can always bend your knees here. You could always have another cushion underneath your bottom if you wanted. Wiggling the toes, maybe, if that feels nice, or if it feels like all of the blood has been drained out. Don't worry, there's still plenty left. And maybe here, as we're still coming back, maybe to the intention that you might have set at the start of class. Maybe you've already released it. Maybe you just softened your grip on it slightly, and that's progress. And some days it's going to be easier to release things that don't serve us than others. You're human and you're doing a great job. Last few breaths here. Maybe wiggling the toes if you haven't already. And we're just going to transition really slowly away from the wall and coming to lie flat on the ground, either with cushion if you like, or you can also have a cushion underneath the knees. That's always really nice. Just to have a bit of extra support. Making any final adjustments before our rest pose of Shavasana. Closing the eyes if they're not already. And our rest pose, our Shavasana, is often referred to as one of the most important poses. Yoga is not just about the movement, being flexible. It's about being with the body, being with the mind, being with the breath. And so maybe in the Shavasana, scanning through the body, noticing how it's feeling at the end of your practice. Notice the toes. Notice the feet, the legs. Allowing them to be heavy, allowing them to be supported. the hips, tummy, chest, the hands, softening through the arms, softening the face, and that final release. And then, as we must close our practice in this pose, wiggling the fingers, wiggling the toes, deepening the breath. And if time allows for you tonight, stay here, then I encourage you to do so. Or it's time to get on with the next thing that we all must do. So maybe bringing those knees in, rolling over to one side, pushing up, coming into a seated position. Bringing the hands, the heart center, bowing the head as a sign of recognition and gratitude to ourselves, to those we practice with. I am so grateful for those that have shared their evening with me. Thank you so much. We say namaste, and I hope you all have a wonderful week. And yeah, let me know how you're going. Thank you so much. My Bluetooth ended there, but fantastic. Thank you all. Hope that got some good stuff.